Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the Spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
Ladies and gentlemen, to say that Ubisoft has had a bad couple of years would be a gross understatement. This company has been mismanaged in every which way you can possibly fathom. There is a fundamental lack of leadership, a fundamental lack of vision. The games are atrocious. They're filled with predatory microtransaction bullshit. And then on top of that, there's the, well, you want early access to the game? Oh, you want all of these day one features that should already be in the game? Well, buy our premium $170 edition. Oh, you don't want to pay $170? Well, subscribe to Ubisoft Plus for $17.99 a month. It's like every bit of the interaction that I have as a gamer with Ubisoft makes me feel dirty. It makes me feel like I'm going onto a mainstream media website that's just plastered with ads because they can't exist off of the back of their work. They have to try to nickel and dime you and scheme you and try to pull you in this direction. And then on top of that, the PR for the company is atrocious. They're going with the woke messaging. They're expecting you to pay top dollar for woke propagandistic crap. They have games like, Prince of Persia. Oh, the main character is not Persian. He's not a prince. It's like, it's some black guy with half his head shaved that looks like Killmonger because, that character was popular from Marvel. There is no vision, passion, dedication. There is nothing at the company that gives anyone the feeling of optimism or hope. And it is a continuing problem. And you take a look at their stock and you go all the way back to the 2000. And the close of their stock at the 2000 was 1557. It starts to go down, You start to see they go really, really low. This is back in 2005. They go really low. Oh, they go up a bit. But I want you to not pay attention to that necessarily. I want you to pay attention to 2018. In June of 2018, which was just 6 years ago, their stock price closed at $94.44. I want you to keep that in mind. In June of 2018, Ubisoft stock was almost $100. What is it worth today? Well, you can see it right there. It has cratered and is now sitting at a close of $11.81. If you invested anywhere in this area here, you lost an absolute fortune. And the only thing they have to blame this for is themselves. But are they going to blame themselves? No. They're going to continue to make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And unfortunately, this is the end result. XDefiant is closing down. This game is sunsetting, as it were. Now, if you don't know what XDefiant is, it is a free-to-play first-person arena shooter. That's right, a free game. A game that you can play for free. And they're mismanaged to the point where they're not able to keep the game open. They're not making enough money. They're not generating enough interest. And that really speaks to the lack of vision, the lack of any sort of attention to detail. But here's the deal. I don't relish things like this. I report things like this. But what you have to keep in mind, and I'm of two minds on this, so I don't relish it. 270 some odd people are going to be losing their jobs. Part of me part of me wants to say good. They're part of a diseased and corrupt system that promotes far-left lunacy, degeneracy, scumbaggery. They are, in many ways, perpetuating a system that is vile and racist and deeply, deeply problematic. You've seen those whiteboards where you have a bunch of people in the room, and it's a wheel of, oh, you're this far from power, so you're this marginalized, all that other stuff. You've all seen that, sort of graph or some sort of DEI chart that makes you sick to your stomach because you realize that these people are in a cult and they are deeply, deeply troubled. But that still is 270 people losing their job. That's 270 people that are going to have to look for work elsewhere and feel that level of uncertainty. So there is part of me that is empathetic towards that, but at the same time, I've become rigid. I've become rigid towards the gaming industry because of just how vile some of these people in this industry really are. The way they look down on gamers, the way they mistreat them, the way that so many of these developers or writers or producers or community managers feel comfortable coming out and just absolutely shitting on gamers for no reason. Gamers, just like anyone else, are entitled to share their opinions and their feedback for something that they like and something that they don't like. But these entitled freaks that are part of this far-left cabal, this cult of deranged lunacy, they think that they are above criticism and that criticism is a personal attack. Now, let me tell you something. I don't ever encourage people to go to people's Twitter and leave them messages. I've done it myself before because, let's see, I'm weak. I fall victim to that sometimes. I see something stupid and I react. But the fact is that these people believe, no matter what they do, no matter how foul or retarded what they say actually is, they just think themselves to be better, and the reality is that they're not. You've seen, like with Avowed, for example. This art director comes out and makes a series of atrocious statements that are just immediately repugnant and make people not like this person. Now, I'm not saying that the entire team of Avowed is like that at all. In fact, I would probably say that most of them are just left-of-center people that just want to do their job. But because of this one guy, he taints the entire pool. So that's why when you see something like this, there are people cheering and celebrating, like 270 people lost their job. Oh, that's not that bad. But let's take a look and let's read this. Because I think that this is important to get an understanding of where this company is and how it got here. There's so many different things. You don't have to be that good in order to generate money and interest with some of the IPs that Ubisoft has at their disposal. You mean to tell me that you can't make money with an open world Star Wars game? Are you kidding? What series of failures have to come together in order for you not to be able to generate an endless stream of cash with the Star Wars IP and an open world? You have an open world and Star Wars and you can't make money. You've got Assassin's Creed taking place in Japan. A no-brainer. What do? Shit the bed in ways that I couldn't have even fathomed. If you were to pitch me 100 ideas for Assassin's Creed Shadows, none of them had better involve a black man. None of them. Not one. Not even as like a cursory, like, jokey side character. No, they had all better be Japanese fighting age men. Every variation. They can be shorter or taller, they can be more muscular, maybe more slender. You can go with like a ninja build, you can go with like a more like brutish build. There are different variants. I'd be like, okay, maybe this one, maybe have them super attractive, to bring in some of the, female demographic who really, really like the attractive male characters. I've seen Final Fantasy XIV. I know that girls like attractive male characters too. So don't think that that's just, don't think it's just a male thing that men like attractive characters. Women like them too. Or you could go with like an ugly bastard, like just completely bald, buck teeth, just go completely wild. It's your choice when you're at that level, but the main components have got to be the same. Hello, XDefiant fans. I am unfortunately here today to announce that XDefiant will be shutting down. Starting today, December 3rd, 2024, new downloads and player registrations will no longer be available. We will still release our Season 3 content in the near future, exact date TBD, and the servers will remain active until June 2025. For those who purchased the Ultimate Founders Pack, oh boy, you'll receive a full refund. Players who made any purchases within the last 30 days will also be fully refunded. These refunds should happen automatically within 8 weeks of today. 8 weeks? That seems excessive. And you can find more details on our official website, xdefiant.com. Yeah, that's brutal. That is a brutal loss. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of this is due to mismanagement, not understanding the market, not really getting it, going with fads and trends, and oh look he's got cat ears on the helmet. Instead of actually doing something unique and innovative, they just try to put out a game that they think that people want, but without actually asking them, without actually doing the research. It's sort of like this lol so random. Why the hell is there a helmet with cat ears? That just immediately I'm off put by that. I'm like, why the hell? Like, are you kidding me? I'm not trying to be mean here, but like, what vibe are you going for? There's lots of pinks. I get extra fine, but it seems like you have an identity crisis. You have a profoundly confused vision. And the fact is, oh, I mean, look at this. Who is this appealing to? Do you think the guys that are going to play a game like this and invest in this are going to be attracted to the color pink? Or these lulls so random like pink faux hawks and cat ears and like you're pandering to freaks on the internet and then you wonder why you fail. And I don't understand that. I really don't. See, if I were making a game in this sort of genre, I would stand out by doing what everyone else is doing, and I'll explain. I don't mean that I would copy them one for one and that you'd be able to look at my game and my ads and say, oh, that's Call of Duty. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But there are obviously things that people like. They like badass, masculine male characters. They like sexy, attractive female characters. I would use that to my advantage. I'd get people pumped to play my game by going maybe with the futuristic aspect that they're bringing in here. There's nothing wrong with that. But bringing in a level of masculinity. There'd be no pinks. There'd be no pinks in different colors. There'd be no peacekeeper, like flower guns. No, it'd be a more masculine experience. And then there'd be hot chicks with their cleavage out. Because that's what guys want. That's what the market demands. So that is ultimately what's going to sell this, is if you do the things that the people that are interested in this are going to want. If you try to make them want something else, it's only going to end badly for you. And I think that we can see that there were a lot of attempts to interject, maybe a little more than normal, the more DEI-centric perspective, which doesn't really resonate with people now, does it? It never has, but the artificial bubble has burst. And so my advice to you is very simple. Pull out of DEI. Any manager, any employee, any CEO that has come out to hate on gamers or say DEI is our strength, fire them, and publicly, and state why. The vision that this person had, with this overly political DEI stuff is not the future we want for the company. So we are rebranding, we are changing these things. And then you go back to making fundamentally good games. Games that have a heart and a soul and a core. So Assassin's Creed in Japan, it's a no-brainer. You basically, if you wanted to make Assassin's Creed in Japan, the blueprint that I would use is Way of the Samurai 2. Way of the Samurai 2 is a game that was on PlayStation 2. It has so much choice in that game. You could choose to be a good guy, or you could choose to be a bad guy. You could be a renegade and go around killing people, or you could be somebody that protects people. There were a bunch of different paths you could choose, a bunch of different characters. Way of the Samurai 2 is a phenomenal game. I don't know how it would hold up today, but back in the day, I played that all the time. And it had customization, and you could get different weapons, and they had different effects, and that's what I would use as a blueprint. Update it with today's graphics. Give people the choice. You're a Ronin, you're a Japanese samurai, you're a fighting age man. Or maybe you're not even a fighting age man. Maybe you're an older man. Maybe you're an older assassin. Whatever it is, give people the thing that you know that they want. And if you don't know what they want, then you're in the wrong position. Because you're working on Assassin's Creed. You're working on an open world Star Wars. You don't have to be that quirky to be good. It's basic. It's fundamental. What do people want? They want a compelling story. They want good aesthetics. They want great gameplay that makes them feel good and rewards them. They want attractive women. And I don't mean marginally attractive. They want women that are worth fighting for. Even if they're not the one that they're going to romance on that particular playthrough, there should be numerous options that people can choose from, and they should all have different personality types that play on different strengths or weaknesses of the player, different psychological profiles. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But unfortunately, what we have been given is a slop that has been just blended down into this woke DEI pulp. And unfortunately, for the gaming industry, no amount of delusional fence-sitting creeps. I say fence-sitting, like David Jaff, for example, looking at Vera Dark's YouTube feed, looking at what she's been posting. It's like, well, this is just negative against DEI. You bet your ass. Because there's so much DEI, and it's so bad, and it's so garbage, and it's so insulting to the gaming industry. You bet that people are going to be critical, and people are going to have something to say. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with coming out and expressing your opinion. And by the way, anyone who's intelligent, you'll listen to that opinion, and you'll do what Stellar Blade did. Stellar Blade came out and people liked it. Then they went the censorship route for a little bit. But afterwards, they listened to customers and said, no more censorship. People love Stellar Blade. In fact, they just did a collaboration with Nier Automata 2B, and that was just widely praised. So Ubisoft, I don't think there's any point in telling you to get your shit together, because I don't think that you can. The amount of people that you would have to fire, the amount of things you'd have to do to course correct, unfortunately, I think you are just about to hit the iceberg. I think you have recognized that there's a problem, and maybe you're trying to steer a little bit, but you're not going hard over. You're not pulling the steering wheel all the way to one side to try to get out of the way of this thing that you've built in front of yourself. And I got to tell you, when it hits it's going to hit hard, metaphorically speaking. It's going to be a huge impact. And you're going to see a lot of your IPs that once had you at an almost $100 per share company, you're now going to be reduced down to a joke in terms of reputation, but your stock is going to be worth nothing. And I don't know how you survive under those circumstances. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for today's video. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the support for the channel, and I'll see you next time.